The golden California sun is setting on the Sussexes American experiment, and the view from their Montecito mansion has never looked bleaker. What was once hailed as a freedom flight has devolved into a gilded cage of isolation for Prince Harry, who reportedly finds himself a hollowed-out man in a land that no longer feels like home. As 2026 dawns, the whispers of a marriage split hell have reached a fever pitch, fueled by the stark reality that while Meghan Markle remains obsessed with conquering Hollywood, Harry is desperate to reclaim the soul he left behind in Britain. The professional separation they pioneered last year has allegedly curdled into a personal chasm, leaving the world to ask, has the Duchess finally pushed the Duke to his breaking point? For veteran royal commentator Kevin O'Sullivan, the narrative of the happily ever after in the States was always a fragile illusion. O'Sullivan has been a vocal critic of the couple's trajectory, noting that the fundamental incompatibility of their goals is now impossible to ignore. Meghan's insatiable thirst for global stardom, manifesting in lackluster lifestyle brands and desperate brand resets, clashes violently with Harry's intrinsic need for purpose. While Meghan spends her days plotting the next, as ever, product launch, recently ridiculed for an $18 bookmark, Harry is reportedly a man adrift. Insiders suggest Harry feels henpecked and marginalized on Meghan's home turf. In California, he is a secondary character in the Meghan Markle show, a far cry from the respected military veteran and senior royal he once was. The reality is biting. The Hollywood elite have cooled on the couple, and their redemption year of 2025 ended not with a bang, but with a series of professional whimpers. For Harry, the freedom he was promised has turned out to be nothing more than a life of isolation, miles away from the pub, his brothers in arms, and the institutional structure that gave his life meaning. Central to this marital hell is Meghan's perceived role as the controversial driver of their isolation. Critics argue that her relentless pursuit of a victimhood narrative has not only alienated the royal family but has now begun to alienate her own husband. Her refusal to return to the UK, citing security concerns that many see as a convenient excuse to avoid the British public, has created a geographical ultimatum. Harry is desperate to bring Archie and Lilibet to see their grandfather, King Charles, especially as the king navigates his own health journey. Yet Meghan remains steadfast in her resistance, reportedly viewing Britain as a hostile territory that doesn't appreciate her grandeur. This control dynamic is where the controversy truly lies. While Harry reaches for olive branches, Meghan seems to be lighting more fires. Her recent legal skirmishes and the death drama involving her estranged father, Thomas Markle, continue to paint a picture of a woman who thrives on conflict. O'Sullivan and other experts point out that Meghan's priorities are spotlight-driven, whereas Harry's are legacy-driven. This divide is no longer just a professional hiccup, it is a fundamental breakdown of the partnership. The most telling sign of the impending split is Harry's increasing frequency of solo trips, whether it's a boys' skiing trip or his frequent returns to London for high court battles against the press. The Duke is clearly carving out a life that doesn't involve his wife. As he prepares for his landmark trial against Associated Newspapers this week, he does so alone. The reports that he is seeking a permanent base in the UK, perhaps even accepting the King's offer of Highgrove as a temporary residence, suggest that Homesick Harry is already mentally halfway across the Atlantic. The tragedy of the situation is the hollow man Harry has become. He is a prince who traded a 1,000-year-old legacy for a Netflix deal that was eventually cancelled and a lifestyle brand that sells overpriced jam. The critique is sharp but necessary. Meghan Markle may have won the battle to get Harry out of the UK, but she appears to be losing the war to keep him happy in her world. As 2026 unfolds, the Great Escape seems to be moving in reverse. Harry is no longer escaping the palace. He is trying to escape the California dream that turned into a nightmare. If Meghan continues to prioritize her Hollywood ambitions over her husband's mental well-being and his desire for reconciliation, the marriage split headlines will move from the tabloids to the history books. Harry is a man who needs a country, a family, and a purpose, none of which, it seems, can be found in a Montecito mansion under Meghan's shadow.